Look at a typical green leaf, a sharp cactus spine, and the snapping jaw of a Venus flytrap. They look entirely unrelated, but structurally they are the exact same plant organ in disguise. Here is a standard leaf schematic. Notice the flat blade, or lamina, and the stalk, or petiole. Its primary job is simple: perform photosynthesis. But standard leaves don't work everywhere. When facing a dense canopy or harsh desert, keeping this wide, flat shape becomes a liability. To survive, the plant physically alters these standard parts. These leaf modifications are highly specific structural adaptations, taking on entirely new physiological jobs when normal photosynthesis isn't enough to keep the plant alive. Let's start with a physical problem: reaching sunlight. Plants with weak stems cannot hold themselves upright. To solve this, they use leaf tendrils, like in the pea plant, Pisum sativum. Notice it's a partial modification. The upper terminal leaflets twist into green, thread-like coils to grip a support, while lower leaflets remain flat for photosynthesis. Now take away the canopy and drop the temperature. In arid, desert climates, water is scarce, and grazing herbivores are a constant threat. Here are leaf spines, commonly found in the cactus, Opuntia. These hard, needle-like structures perform a dual function. They impale grazing animals, and lacking the broad surface area of normal leaves, they drastically reduce water loss through transpiration. Whether a plant needs to climb to the light or hoard its water in the sun, the leaf sacrifices its standard shape to become the plant's primary defense and support mechanism. This brings us to the most common trap on the WBCHSE exam: confusing a phyllodes with a phylloclade. Pay close attention to the origin of the structure. First, the phyllodes. In the Australian acacia, true leaflets fall off. To compensate, the petiole expands, flattens, and turns green for photosynthesis. Contrast this with a phylloclade on the right. Its nodes and internodes indicate it's a modified stem, completely separate from a leaf. Leaves also modify to store resources. Fleshy leaves in onion and aloe hoard water and food, while the leaves of Bryophyllum grow specialized buds specifically for vegetative reproduction. Success on the board exam requires tracing these structures back to their exact anatomical origin, recognizing that a flat green surface is a modified petiole, or that an onion layer is a fleshy leaf, provides the technical accuracy needed for the highest marks. Let's look at one final extreme adaptation: insectivorous leaves. You've likely seen the picture of Nepenthes or the traps of the bladderwort. There is a widespread misconception here. Students often write that these plants catch bugs because they cannot photosynthesize. That is false. These plants possess chlorophyll and actively perform photosynthesis. The true function of the trap is strictly to harvest nitrogen. These plants grow in nitrogen-deficient soils, so they catch and digest insects to absorb the exact nutrient the soil lacks. Let's test your retention. Pause the video. Identify the leaf modification found in Opuntia and state its two primary functions. If you answered leaf spines to protect against herbivores and reduce water loss, you are exactly right. Even the deadliest insect traps and sharpest spines are just biological workarounds, supplementing the plant's baseline survival tools. Let's apply this to a standard board exam question. Here is a classic match the following setup. Working down the list, we know the weak-stemmed pea relies on the tendril for support. We also know the onion hoards resources inside a fleshy leaf. Next, we avoid the exam trap. The Australian acacia utilizes a modified petiole, which matches to phylloid. Finally, the nitrogen-seeking nepenthes modifies its leaf into a pitcher. Use this quick map table to consolidate your notes. It aligns the modification type, its function, and the required example perfectly for the WBCHSE format. Board success relies on connecting the environmental pressure a plant faces to the anatomical solution its leaf provides. When you see the modification as a logical response to a specific problem, the biology becomes a pattern rather than a list to memorize.